Absolutely, and that is what I'm going to do, just to show it's the same rig and everything, just changing my hook length. Like I said, I would set up 2 rigs in a match, but I want to change my hook length
just
to
basically
prove
the same gear,
that
but
everything's
without a band
exactly
on.
the same.
Yeah.
But I've got, I've put a 14 on. I talked to the guys when I was talking to them on the hook and rig bit, Rob, because I feel like we're going to hook some bigger baits. I feel like I need a 14 rather than a...
So what are you going to fish? A 6mm?
I'm going to fish a 6mm expander, right? I'm going to put a 6mm expander on. Okay, these are those pro expanders, so they sink. All right?
Yeah.
So just hook that through the side.
Yeah, roll it on.
Rolled it on. I mean, that 14 looks, I've got to be honest, looks dwarfed in it. Could have even put a 12 on, to be honest. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid off the pot, because we've got some depth. What I don't want to do is I don't want to have my micros go everywhere.
Yeah,
so
still want to create that trap, don't we?
Yeah, so I've made a little ball, right? Just hold that up for you there.
Yeah, I can see it, yeah.
Pop that in my pot. Now, this is asking for spilling, right? Because I haven't pushed it in. I don't want to push it in, Rob.
5 metres, a man of your outstanding ability should be able to get that out that distance.
I could certainly do it in a feeder, Rob, but I'm going to hold my breath with this. But joking aside, how important is it that I get that bang right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is so important.
It's such a small amount of feed, so lower that down.
Exactly, and then literally as close to the water as I can get, because I don't want the ball to break up, and then pot it in.
Okay.
Right?
So now
you see the little pimps coming off it?
Yeah.
I'm going to follow them down there on the bottom. So now lift my rig, and effectively what I'm doing now is I'm thinking that this is obviously our most attractive way of fishing, if you can put it like that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. There we go.
Okay.
Again,
so now this is almost like a method feeder, isn't it? You've got a little ball of micros next to a nice soft hook bait.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. So I'm now, you can see, look how it's pimpling right next to my float. It shows how accurate we are. I mean, it's obviously just broken down now, hasn't it? It's stopped breaking down because there's odd little pimples coming up on the surface. I love it when you can see what's going on. And hopefully this will be, this is something that could be more attractive to the fish. And you just don't know what's going to happen, obviously.
I used to fish this way at Ballingely.
Yes.
Start of a session, you just a little ball of micros and an expander, yeah. And especially in the first arm at Ballingely, down in Cornwall, when we used to fish the Whiteacres festivals, I'd start off doing this sort of thing, and then I'd work my way out long, and then you could always change maybe that shorter swim into like your meat line or your hard pellet line later in the session, because you're not feeding a lot of bait there. And okay, the stamp of fish probably wasn't as big as the ones you'd catch on hard pellet, but you get bites. You definitely get bites. There was a lot of F1s in there. A lot of there was some grass carp in there at the time.
Smaller carp.
Yeah, smaller carp, sort of like 2-3 pounders, and you just didn't catch those fish on hard pellets early on.
No, absolutely.
So it was a great way of fishing. It seemed very negative, but let's get right. Tapping 5 or 6 hard pellets in is pretty negative.
Now, some people would say, Rob, right, if you think it's going to be a tougher session, or if you think it's going to be harder, why didn't I start with that bait? The problem I see with...
Look at that. That is spot on, isn't it?
The problem I see...
How long was we waiting there? 2-3 minutes?
No, a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
The problem I see with that bait is if it doesn't work...
Oh no, you've ruined your peg.
I've ruined my peg.
Yeah. Hard pellets, you're not going to ruin anything.
I'm not ruining my peg with hard pellets, and it just gives us we can see what's happening on the day. Right. I mean, that is the quickest and the cleanest bite we've had yet, isn't it?
It's absolutely superb, and the fact that we're not getting loads of line bites. I mean, we'll see after a couple of put-ins whether all that bait on the bottom getting kicked up is going to cause us problems. But as far as catching a fish, that is the best response we've had so far.
That's the best response we've had. And also, Rob, there's nothing to say that I can't, if we do have those problems that you've just said, I can move.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to get as quick a response as that...
go a section further and do it again.
2 feet to the right, 2 foot to the left. You can go again, can't you? So you don't have to... you don't have to worry. It's carp as well.
No, I was concerned that it might go under and it might be like a tench or an F1 or...
It's a different species,
fish, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's a good fish, mate. And again, I'm not in any rush.
We might have hit on the combo, mightn't we? At least for the start of the session.
Yeah, for the start of the session, it could be absolutely bang right. And that's what I love. I absolutely love about these films. I love about these days. This is how we fish. These are the baits that I brought to my recent match at this venue. Yeah. This is how I attacked it.
You just can't come with like a pint of pellets.
No, I didn't need, do you know, that day, I didn't even need soft pellets, right? I didn't need them at all. I used hard pellets and it was good. But an open mind, obviously we're chatting, we're discussing it, we're trying to get it. Interesting what you said there about Belingi, and look at that. That was a brilliant response. I'm so pleased that it's actually shown that instant response, you know. Feisty, another feisty comment, I think.
Yeah, they pull back a bit.
Yeah, they pull back, mate. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Like we talked about before, catching big carp is one of the most enjoyable ways of fishing, isn't it? Because
yeah, it is. Yeah.
You know, they're proper fish. Like you say, every one you play, a little bit hard in your mouth because you think, well, if this comes off, I mean, this one's probably about £5-6, but it could be £10. You know, even if it's £5-6, it's still a big weight difference, isn't it? So
yeah, like I say, I do feel that when you're fishing in this way with expanders and micros, your average stamp does go down a little bit, but it's better to be getting bites from £5 or £6 than no bites from any £10, isn't it?
So, mate, 100%. Yeah. Feisty one, yeah, definitely. Those big old. It's a mirror.
He's a nice fish, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice fish, yeah. Yeah. Lively though.
Yeah, he doesn't want to come in.
Yeah. Do you know what I found the other day, Rob? Just talking about this while we finish off on this. You know, with the fight of the fish and how, you know, feisty this fish is. I found the other day, if I overdid it with a pulley, you know, and I was sort of like get a bit keen and carried away.
I hate playing them on that super tight.
No, I know.
You might as well be playing it on another bit of line.
Yeah, and I tell you now, I had 2 or 3 fish because fight like this one, shaky fish that really pull and shake a lot, and they just do enough to pull that hook out. So if you can just give them enough,
yeah, you still need some give in that elastic, don't you?
Here he comes. You know,
you still need some give in that elastic.
You still need some give in that elastic, mate, and that's so important. That's why I love a nice hollow elastic. When he's ready, we're going to have him, aren't we? And they're big fish. You know, every fish is a big fish. So beautiful scale mirror. It is absolutely lovely.
Yeah, cracking fish.
The top lip again.
Right, so you're going to repeat the process. Micros, soft expander on the hook.
Yeah.
See if it works 2 or 3 times, and if it does, then we can obviously look about moving around and probably fishing that those soft baits longer, couldn't we?
Definitely.